Hello and welcome to the AdHit Profits weekly webinar. My name is Charles Scoville. Today is March 13th, so we've already cleared our 11-month mark on the internet. I want to thank you all for being here. I just wanted to get a show of thumbs. If you could just say yes or something like that in the question box. I want to make sure that the audio is working. All right, is everyone able to hear me? All right. Great, getting some yeses, so glad to hear it. Thank you so much for being here. What I wanted to do is cover some things because there's been a number of people who have been involved in income opportunities that all of a sudden go offline. And there's been a number of those recently that I've been involved in some Skype rooms where some of these promoters have been kind of bullying people saying, you got to get involved in my income opportunity because it's a safe investment. And what we've been trying to do is educate people of what a Ponzi scheme is, what a pyramid scheme is, to help people avoid those types of mistakes. And then there's some people that say, well, AdHit Profits is a Ponzi too, so you shouldn't really get involved with AdHit Profits. So what I wanted to do is, I know we've already had a webinar that talks about pyramid schemes and Ponzi's, but I wanted to clarify what a pyramid scheme and what a Ponzi scheme is for you, especially if you're out there sharing AdHit Profit services and you are met with that particular concern that someone might have that you're promoting a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme. So probably the best place to go to get a definition for this is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC. The SEC has been responsible for shutting down Ponzi's like Profitable Sunrise, Zeek Rewards, and a number of others. Okay, and so the question that it asks is, what is a Ponzi scheme? And a Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that involves the payment of purported returns to existing investors from funds contributed by new investors. Ponzi scheme organizers often solicit new investors by promising to invest funds in opportunities claimed to generate high returns with little or no risk. And we see that all the time with those hypes. They say, you know, they're trading in Forex or they're trading in gold, silver, oil, whatever it is that they're saying. But that's where this is different with AdHit Profits is, first of all, it's not an investment scheme. Another thing that it says here is that in many Ponzi schemes, the fraudsters focus on attracting new money to make promised payments to early-stage investors to create a false appearance that investors are profiting from a legitimate business. Now, I've seen that a lot of times, and you probably have as well within this industry. Some of the main promoters of some of these Ponzi schemes out there turning around and saying, wow, look at how much I have made from this hype. Look how fast I'm making money. You've got to join with me, and you got to get signed up because you could be making these kind of profits too. That's what a lot of Ponzi promoters do, and unfortunately, we did have some of these people that are mainly involved with hypes get involved with AdHit Profits within the first couple of months of AdHit Profits, and when they realized that we're not a hype, they moved on to another hype. But that's what a lot of things were going on with that, but that's what a Ponzi is. Now, I want you to understand why a Ponzi scheme collapses is what it says here. With little or no legitimate earnings, Ponzi schemes require a consistent flow of money from new investors to continue. Now, the important thing to understand here is a lot of people correlate this particular type of a definition to any sales model, saying no business can stay in business without complete sale or continual sales. But what collapses with the Ponzi is that it's telling you that daily or monthly or yearly you are promised a set percentage, and so you are actually seeing on your account an increase of earnings when in actuality the funds are not really there to back that up. So other people are calling us pyramid scheme as well in the past, and even some even in the present. And probably in the future as well. So it's important to be educated on what these terms mean. A pyramid scheme is an unsustainable business model that involves promising participants payments or services primarily for enrolling other people in the scheme, rather than supplying any real investment or sale of products or services to the public. So the important thing is two things there, actually. One is nowhere on AdHit Profits are you ever going to see the word investment, except for maybe on some of the banners that other advertisers are promoting something else. But with on AdHit Profits within the how it works, the directory forum, FAQs, the only thing about in the FAQs is where it asks, are you a hype or investment or Ponzi, any of those types of things, it says no, we're not. So very clearly we stand out right from the very beginning that we are not a Ponzi, we're not an investment site, we are not a fly-by-night deal, and I think that right now with our 11-month mark already passed, coming up closer to our year mark, that we've proven that we are not a fly-by-night deal and that what we are selling is real, true, legitimate services. And that's another thing that I wanted to point out here is just like what it says here with this pyramid scheme, and the same thing with Ponzi's generally, is that there's no sale of products or services. And there's some people that say, well, there's no way to really verify that what people are buying on AdHit Profits is actually true. And that's where I want to just take a moment and help make sure that you recognize that you can verify that the purchases that are being made on AdHit Profits are for real legitimate advertising services. First of all, right on our front page, it says, how does AdHit Profits compare with #1 top traffic exchanges? And these are top traffic exchanges based upon TE Hoopla. And I want you to see that how we compare with all of these other exchanges is we are actually getting more visitors to our website than these other traffic exchanges. And the only reason why I'm saying that is not to say that we're better than them, but just to help you recognize that if these are legitimate businesses selling legitimate advertising services, then it should be very easy to clearly illustrate how legitimate our advertising services are on AdHit Profits. I mean, if all of these other sites are legitimate and we're selling advertising service, then it just goes into position ourselves saying yes, and we are legitimate as well. We're a real traffic exchange. We're having people surf at least 25 pages, and if they surf more, then they earn more credits, and that means more visitors to people's websites from other members. I mean, that's exactly what AdHit Profits is. It's the traffic exchange that we share real revenues with other people. Now, another thing about pyramid schemes and Ponzi's is that if you recognize here in the definition is that the people are earning money first, and they have to keep up with new sales. Otherwise, they won't be able to cover those payments to their Ponzi account holders. Okay? But with AdHit Profits, the great thing about AdHit Profits is the money comes in for the purchase of advertising services, and the real revenues are shared with the account holders as long as they're clicking within 24 hours. There's a 24-hour period that you get. So if you click 25 ads right now, you get to share in revenues for 24 hours. And after that 24 hours, you'll stop. And to start sharing in those revenues again, all you have to do is click your 25 ads. The nice thing about that is the more people that we get clicking on ads, the more people want to buy more advertising credits. And the more advertising credit purchases going through the system, the more your clicking actually will pay you. So that's where I've been trying to position AdHit Profits more and more with more and more internet marketers within the industry on these kind of traffic exchanges, is saying, hey, look, you like traffic exchanges, come check out this one. The great thing about AdHit Profits is you are going to take advantage of pro-only visitors. Everyone who is surfing our traffic exchange have paid for services, because the only way that they can share in revenues on AdHit Profits is if they've made a purchase of a service. And that's how this works, is to begin advertising on AdHit Profits, you purchase the advertising service. There are some people that say, well, my account is inactive until I make a payment, so that means you're a pyramid scheme. But the truth is, if you go to the store, you can't legitimately come out of the store with groceries unless you pay for it. You can't have cell phone service unless you pay for it. And that's how it works with AdHit Profits as well, is if you want to advertise on AdHit Profits, then you got to pay for it. And some people say, well, why in the world would I want to advertise on AdHit Profits? And how can I help people know what the real value and benefit is. And just to show you really quickly, AdHit Profits is listed as one of the best buys in the industry. This list fluctuates, and in AdHit Profits, we go up and down the list, but we've consistently ranked on the top 10 list for quite some time. And when you click on this site, what you can see is that we've had over 150,000 unique visitors to AdHit Profits within the last 24 hours. So that's another great thing that you can point out to people when saying, hey, you got to put some banners on AdHit Profits, because you're going to have real people view these banners. And the great thing about these banners is you only pay for the clicks that you get. And that's something that, as I've tested other banner advertising services within the traffic exchange industry, most of those traffic exchanges that are on our list show you that if you purchase banner advertising on their website, you're going to pay for exposure only. So you'll have impressions. So the banners, they might display 10,000 times, and you'll get maybe 1 or 2 clicks. If you paid $10 for those 10,000 impressions, and you paid for just 2 clicks, then really what you've done is you paid $5 a click. So helping people see that you're paying 25 cents a click on AdHit Profits targeted within this industry, this is a fantastic place to advertise, to build your income opportunities, whatever you're in. Get pay-to-click referrals, grow your list. There's been a number of people who have actually been suggesting various different income opportunities that I should get involved with because of how powerful they've experienced with their advertising on AdHit Profits. I would love to show you a couple of those examples, but I've actually had a number of people tell me, Charles, you're faking all of those testimonials. So I don't even know if showing you these kind of testimonials even will help. But let me pull up one real quickly, because I feel like this is pretty important, especially if you're not sure if advertising on AdHit Profits is going to really work for you. But let me just pull this up here for you. And what this testimonial is coming from is a leader named Albie Coster. He's out of Australia. You might recognize his name. He's been involved in this industry for quite some time. All right, so this is him on Skype, and he's saying that he has one of his downlines in his team that already has 3 members sign up in his business at the VIP level. So that's the highest level in his business. And that came from advertising on AdHit Profits. And I believe that's from the Guaranteed Traffic campaign as well as the Done For You traffic. So while there are some people who are saying some negative things out there, there are a lot of people also saying some very positive things. There's another individual. Let me just pull this up here really quickly. And if you've been clicking on the treasure chest, you've probably seen his treasure chest ad in there. Let me just see if I can find him. It doesn't look like he's online right now, so his name's not really sticking out right now. But Ronald De Visser, he's explained that he also has had some really great results from his campaign. And not only that, he's explaining that his sponsor, Aaron, in another opportunity, is looking at AdHit Profits as being recommended by their whole team as being a place to go. But they're kind of doing some investigation right now at the very beginning. And they're asking, you know, how many sites can you get set up with a rotator? How many sites can you advertise at a time? Because he's saying, wow, you know, this is exciting. I'm seeing some fantastic results. You know, and he's tried these other advertising websites. There was one that he was showing me that it cost $212.50 for 250 clicks. He says, wow, you know, this is crazy. That's something that, as he's compared, let me just pull up his testimonial here really quickly. He said something like he spent $150 and got some real solid people into his business. Oh shoot, I'm just trying to find this. Here we go. Last week he spent $150 in his advertising with the treasure and banner ads on and the Done For You traffic, and he had 3 signups in his business for a serious business that he's talking about. And he said, look, $150 compared to a lot of these other kind of advertising sites out there, he is actually saving money on AdHit Profits and making a lot more money within his income opportunity. And I don't know how much a lot of people out there in the industry spend on advertising. I know for me personally that with my daily advertising campaigns, just to keep AdHit Profits going, there's quite a bit of traffic coming to AdHit Profits because of me. And I know that from my personal referrals coming in through AdHit Profits, it's worth it. I mean, that's something that I was speaking with someone else as well. He was like, the great thing about AdHit Profits is the advertising service works. And we got talking about that just a little bit, because he was kind of like, I've had sponsors in the past who really don't care about whether you succeed. They're just in it for the quick commissions. But what he was able to recognize is that the best thing to do is get involved with a low-cost opportunity and advertise a lot. Spend more on the advertising than you do on your actual income opportunity, and make sure that the income opportunity has a product and service that people are actually looking for. That way you increase your sales and your margins over what you're spending overall, and you're advertising your income opportunity. You end up making profit. And we were talking about that, and he's like, wow, that's so true. That is so true. And that is exactly what using AdHit Profits can actually help you do, because there's some people who won't get involved with AdHit Profits because the shared earnings are low for people. But without referring into like a pay-to-click website like ClickSense or NeoBucks or any of them, you're really not going to make a whole lot of income passively within anything. And the passive income opportunities that offer you a lot of income, they don't last very long, because a lot of people jump from new program to new program. So that's kind of the important thing to really point out there with that. What I also wanted to tell you is that we're having a number of people, as they've been finding out from their sponsor and some of the buzz that's starting out on the internet, that advertising on AdHit Profits is really working well for people. They've been coming back to their accounts, and some of these people haven't even logged in since maybe last November, December, and what they're bumping into is this term of service saying that after 30 days of not logging onto your account will temporarily be suspended, and a permanent suspension after 60 days of inactivity. Sometimes people say, well, that's not exactly fair, because what if I've got life going on, And I totally understand that. I respect that, because I have life as well, But what I wanted to point out for you is that this is not something new to the industry. It's not like I'm all of a sudden being mean to people when they want to come back or something. But it's something that I feel like is fair, because people sometimes just want to quit a program without contacting the company. They just want to pull away and not have to worry about it anymore, and they don't want those ridiculous emails anymore. And I feel like, why bother them if they're not going to log in? Why send them some hints and tips and strategies and news about AdHit Profits or recommendations or things like that if they're going to be upset that they're receiving any kind of contact? So just like what it says here, like on ClickSense, what it says here is, let me just pull this back up. I think I had it on the right spot, but here we go. Inactivity. If your account should go inactive 90 days with no logins, ClickSense will consider your account abandoned and close it. And that after it's closed, it says that there will be, that you're going to forfeit your earnings. So that's something that's kind of clear right here. That's something that is not new to the industry. Also, NeoBucks account suspensions, it also says after 30 days of inactivity, your account will be temporarily suspended and permanently suspended after 60 days. An inactive user for 72 hours after registration will be permanently suspended as well. So that's something that within this industry, it's not something that's new. And with AdHit Profits, sometimes people bump into it and then all of a sudden want to complain that I'm being rude or mean or something like that and taking advantage of people. But really the truth behind this is we don't want to bother people that don't want to be involved with our income opportunity or the advertising aspect. So it's been actually quite shocking how many people just didn't even log in since last July, the 21st of July, which was when there was a hacker that got into the solid trust pay system and bombarded our site with quite a lot of money. So we had to sort out all of the shared income, and it took a few days for us to kind of fix and revamp everything to make sure that such an attack wouldn't be possible again. And so after painstakingly rebuilding and creating all of the safeguards, we came back, but a lot of people, they had this belief that we were going to be gone for good. But we're absolutely online. We're going to be sticking around long term. And that's actually what one of our leaders said. Let me pull up what he said really quickly as well, because I feel like this is pretty fantastic. I don't know if you know who this is. It's Mario de Magalhães. I can't pronounce his name. He's from Portugal. He's a major leader, as well as he's been involved with Guia. I can't pronounce that either, but you've probably seen commercials for that across the internet. And he was basically saying, that he is really comfortable keep on going with AdHit Profits because we've already been online for almost a year. He says, that's pretty cool, Charles. We're about to complete a year, and I know you're here for good, so that gives me confidence to continue to build. And so that's how I feel as well, as you know what, any business that starts out online, it can take some time. And I think we've talked about that on previous webinars. If you haven't been on a previous webinar about that, I just want to show you here really quickly. And then after that, I want to open up to any kind of questions that we might have on the call. And that's called the startup curve. And you can definitely Google this on your own, especially if you forget, and you can definitely take a look at it later. I feel like it's pretty important to understand that any new business, and this is something that you might recognize being in the industry if you've been in the industry for a while, is when a new business hits the internet, there's kind of a big boom. And then the popularity of that new thing kind of dies down for a little bit. Now there's a number of websites that this has happened with, and some of them have entered their third year online just this year, and a lot more people are a lot more familiar with them and find them very trustworthy because they've been online for so long. And some people do wait for a website to be online a long time before they even become a customer because they don't want to spend money on advertising and then all of a sudden have that website suddenly disappear. They want to get their money's worth. And so there is that initial enthusiasm, and then there's some people that kind of move on to the next new thing. As I said, there's a group of people that just keep jumping from new thing to new thing to new thing. And then there's kind of a lack of traction that happens here, and then some innovations are typically released as the company is saying, we're not going anywhere. We've got to find a way to find out what the customers are looking for, what they need, and provide that to them. And then as that is provided, then there's kind of some wiggle of false hope here, and then it comes up as people start to say, you know what? There's a lot of people looking for stuff, and it's available here. I think about that quite a bit with AdHit Profits, where we have like the done-for-you traffic. Done-for-you traffic is such a hot item that it is so undersold right now. So many people really don't even know about it in the industry. And some of the people who are just barely coming into the know about our done-for-you traffic are like, wow, I got to tell more people. And what's really great about the done-for-you traffic is the traffic really is done for you. You just set up your campaign and you set how many visitors you want, and you're going to get a rapid flood of visitors because of the amount of traffic that I'm sending through that campaign. And so you're going to start to see the number of visitors get used up. And the biggest suggestion that I can have for you is create for yourself a brand, because these are real people that are coming to your website. They might have seen someone promoting what you're promoting already, and they might think about it, and they might say maybe with the right person. If you stand out as being the right person and the right team, and if you stand out as having an offer that maybe, one of the things that I have realized is sometimes people, they want what you have, but when they first come to the website, they don't realize that what's being offered is what they want. So if you create a website that helps people see that you have what they want, and all they got to do is enter their name and email to opt in and find out how to take advantage of the offer to get what they want, that can really help lure in those leads that you can follow up with and gain a relationship with for life, and really become friends with them, and Skype contacts and email people, and maybe even fly out and meet each other and really be long-lasting business partners within this industry. So that's just what I wanted to share with you just here in closing in this webinar, is that we're still just in our year mark. We haven't even hit our year, and a lot of the bigger companies, they don't hit the big stride until they've been online about 3 to 7 years. So stick with us, make great use of the services because they are fantastic. More and more people are starting to use them and recognize how powerful they are. Let's get the word out and tell more and more people what they can do with our services is build their list, get real traffic of real visitors to their website, and start to make more money and other income opportunities while they click ads, exchange in traffic, and share in revenues as well. So what I want to do now is open up and see if we have any questions, and then I'll close tonight's webinar. All right, it doesn't look like there's any questions yet. I know that a lot of the people that come to these webinars are pretty familiar with how the site works already, and have probably already had a number of their questions on previous calls work out just well. Somebody's asking, any way to get a closed account back? Well, just as it's talking about here, after 30 days, your account's going to be suspended. So make sure to go over here to contact and enter in your message, and make sure to include your username. And that way we can find your account, and if it is suspended, we can restore it. Now, if it's permanently suspended, that basically is there's not going to be a real way to get that restored for you. So make sure that you're not letting your account go for more than 60 days, especially if you're wanting to utilize it for advertising. Now, on a case-by-case basis, we might be able to take a look and see what can be done, especially if it hasn't been cleared out of the database yet. Sometimes those things don't clear out completely. But definitely contact support if you do have any questions. We try to be as helpful as we possibly can and help resolve any kind of issues that you have. I mean, we are human, and we do recognize that you're one of us. We're all in this world together. We're not here to make your lives miserable. All right, the next question is, hey Charles, my referral had that happen. He wants to advertise, but it's been past 60 days. Please have your referral contact support, and let's take a look at that situation and see if we can maybe either restore their account or make sure that they can set up a new account and begin advertising if they want. Any other questions that we have on the call tonight? You are all very welcome. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your advertising. I hope that each of you have continued success and continued sign-ups and continually grow your business opportunities and your income for years and years to come. Thanks for being on the call. Enjoy the rest of your nights.